It's like your body tells you, talks to you, tell you what you should and shouldn't do. I guess people be like, oh, if you're a child of God, why your neck hurt? Because I got surgery on my neck. I should have let God heal it. I should have let God heal it. Now, eyes is different. My grandma and my grandpa had some bad eyes. I was supposed to wear glasses, but, in this situation, I ain't been able to get none. And they're starting to bother me a little bit. But eyes, yeah. Because, see, your eyes, there's something about your eyes. I haven't studied that yet. It's something about the light. It's something about all kinds of stuff. Like, my grandma or my grandpa, one might have had an art ability, a unique art ability. But their eyes, that eyesight that they had, even though it was bad, it was good. So it's just hard to explain some of this stuff. It's hard to explain it. And then you got people, you got to think, if the astro is sending you gifts and somebody merged themselves with you and they getting all the gifts, then it'll be hard to heal me, right? So, it was just little stuff like that, man. Little stuff like that. That is something in this situation just got messed up. And it was really deeper than the physical, but I can't speak on that part. Something just got messed up during the incarnations of everything, I guess. Most of it. Some of it, anyway. But I had to find understanding in them departments because I had to figure that out myself. But when I realized the few gifts that I did get, and I realized how spectacular they were, I can only wonder how great I would be if I'd got everything. So it's cool. It's still cool. It's still cool. And then it's like people like, well, you supposed to do this, supposed to do that. Yeah, I was trying. But the problem is that when we got in this situation, and everybody who got involved in this situation, even the ones that was doing bad in this situation, should have started healing themselves, because you should have immediately knew God was involved in it. Once you know God is involved in it, you got to change. You got to heal. So it was like, I'm competing with people that's on drugs. I ain't talking about drug addicts or nothing, but I'm saying it was a lot of them on drugs. A lot of them. There was a lot of people on drugs. And they go. Like right now, when you on certain drugs and you typically have an issue or an ache or something, you ain't gonna feel it on them drugs. You ain't even gonna notice it. On some of them. Some of these people eat these drugs. So, and it's one drug they say people can live forever, but they really don't. They just be a walking corpse almost. And it's like when you competing against something like that, when everybody chose to get on drugs, then stay on drugs, and then get on more drugs, it's like, okay, well, you working me, and you keep saying, oh, he got a shot, he can take, doing something amazing. You looking for something amazing every day. You looking for something spectacular every day. You looking for something there. This is something that's gonna take 3 lifetimes. I am still incomplete. Even once I'm done and I done passed away, and then I still be incomplete until I come back the other 2 lifetimes. Now do we get it? This is a process. And by the grace of God, God find a spot where we could pause and relax, recap, let it go, start anew. Come back again, start anew. So that's what it is. So that'll answer some of y'all questions. 'Cause I know some of y'all been having them questions, but I never wanted to say nothing about it because you should know better. I messed up. So, you know, if you're a child of God and you know these things about yourself, you're chosen and all that, then you might want to think twice when it comes down to certain events, like what I did with my neck. And I can honestly sit here and say I would have healed my own neck. I could have healed my own neck. You take that bone away, then I think when people were taking parts off of me, 'cause I had a couple surgeries, they would somehow, it was like, I don't know if this to be true, but it was like people was going back and getting the stuff. Like one time, I got my teeth pulled, and I wanted to keep them, and that dentist let me keep them. I went to another dentist, I had to get my other side pulled. That dentist would not let me keep them teeth by any means necessary. And then I'm sitting here thinking, what if somebody went behind me, especially being with the women that I was with at the time, what if somebody went behind me and bought those teeth, took those teeth? And I was like, because I was just thinking about relics and all that stuff, and I was just really trying to think about them. I was like, man, if you are a true chosen one, a true anointed one, a child of God, then people can do a lot with your bone. If they could do all this with your hair, alter magic, stuff like that, imagine what they could do with a bone or with a tooth. Imagine. They could really clean you up. So that's why I had to suffer and endure that, because I should have believed. I should have had faith. Instead of talking about it and preaching about it, I should have had faith. But I ain't telling nobody else to do this. I am not telling nobody else to do this. But I'm just saying, God even talked to me about it. God was actually disappointed in the fact that I got surgery on my neck. And there was a lot of railroads in that process. There was a lot of things trying to stop me from having surgery on my neck. A lot of things. But I didn't pay attention to it. So in this situation with the test, it was like people was it was like people was they was high, and they just kept stabbing something, looping something over and over again. They just kept looping something over and over again. And in their mind, it was okay. But I'm sober. Not only am I sober, I'm dealing with a group of people that possibly might be on drugs. So they running me to death. So that's why God said enough. That's why I got it from. That's why I started saying enough. 'Cause I heard my father say it a few times. Enough. Enough. Then it got to the point where I'm still trying to drive myself. I'm still trying to push myself. I'm still shoving myself. And these things is happening with my body. So what I'm trying to say is when you are pushing your body past the limit, God will take his hands off with that too. God will leave you alone. He'll let you go and let your body decompose. So now we can reflect back like to people like Bruce Lee now, overworking themselves, doing too much, not knowing when to rest, not knowing when to let go. And in this case, who would be in fault if I keep going and keep going and keep going? I would, because the rest of y'all was kind of somewhat contaminated. And you ain't know no better. Well, you did, but you know. For they know not what they do. So that's what's going on with that. God, your body tells you when you gotta rest. And you better listen to it. Your mind tell you when you need a rest. Your heart tell you when you need a rest. your legs, your feet, everything on your body tells you when you need to rest. You got to listen to it. And I talked to my grandpa about it, and my grandpa said, don't pay no attention to the energy, because my grandpa noticed that I was moving according to the energy. And God told me, he said, you can't, that's when God told me, you can't catch every box. But God also told me, he said, don't think for 1 second all your hard work when I notice. We see everything. So God probably seen the fact that I was working myself to death. And he also probably seen the fact that I wasn't trying to work myself to death. He seen the challenges. He seen the people that was in charge. He seen the radical racism. He seen all kind of different things that was being done while I was trying to do my job wholeheartedly. And he knows that I was gonna try to do it no matter what. And at that point, it wasn't about catching every boss. It was about the way they were stabbing the experiment. They were stabbing the experiments in such a way that I better not attempt not to try to catch that box, or I will descend. And it's like God observed and analyzed all that. His spiritual, see, we gotta respect God for so many reasons, but one of the main reasons, one of the known reasons that I know of is that God got this entourage, and it's basically like the spiritual justice system. So you have to respect God, no matter what. And if you do get wrong with God, you best to know you're gonna automatically get lashed. You're gonna either get lashed, you're gonna get ropes, you're gonna descend. Somehow, some way you're gonna descend. No matter what. No matter what. No matter who you are. So you better immediately, when you get wrong with God, you better immediately get right with him. Yep. So that's how that goes. Now I see a lot of people, I can see you in my images in my head, where you got your lip turned a certain way and this and that, you want this, you want that. It's all about money with y'all, but you see, that's the difference between me and y'all. When I work with God, I don't worry about time or money. And I think I did a lecture where I said, when you know you finna walk in something that's God energy, don't deal with none of that. This is real deal stuff here. What I regret the most in this situation, the outbursts, the assumptions, letting my feelings get the best of me. What I work on the most, that. What I worry about the most, that. That's it. So I really ain't got no problems. Because I didn't do many outbursts, but the few outbursts I did do, I regret them. But I had to experience that so I can learn from it. But that's that. That's that. I'm glad I got my paint today. I feel good now. I can get somewhere. That darn, I know what it was going. That other paint was just, it was sweating off of it. It was just making a mess. Now if I can go around it, I should be getting somewhere. But but yep, that's it. That's it. That's what messed this situation up. A lot of the drugs, people not respecting the energy they was in, not respecting the fact you were looking at yourselves like humans and not acknowledging yourself as angels. And you was being used like puppets by people who knew you was angels when you didn't know, when you thought you were just a human. They probably introduced you to a particular gift that you had, and you automatically were like, wow. But if you only knew all the gifts you had, you would have easily healed. But it's not their job. It's not nobody else's job to tell you how great you are and who you are. The whole purpose of trials and tribulations is for the trials and tribulations to teach you that. That's it. That's the game, ladies and gentlemen. Some of it.